All right, everybody, welcome back. It is a special day. Today we're doing menu number 12, which is elbow macaroni in tomato sauce. But even more important, since it's menu number 12, this will be the last one in a case. So next time y'all see me after this video, we'll be more than halfway through. But let's get to that point today. So without any more, I'm getting into this because I am hungry. So if y'all would like to pick up any of these MREs for yourselves, just like I always say, there will be a link down in the description. That is an Amazon affiliate link. So if you're kind enough to use it, I may benefit monetarily. But without anything more, let's get into this. So we have our main, some smoked almonds barbecue flavor, our accessory packet, which has some of Bill's Brew freeze-dried coffee from the William James Coffee Company, some non-dairy creamer, some sugar and a towelette, some toilet paper from the Lighthouse Company, which employs the blind and visually impaired, some zero-calorie sweetener, some crushed red pepper, some chewing gum, and some iodized salt. And then let's get back to the food stuff. So we have grape jelly, peanut butter, mango peach applesauce. Man, they like to mix up the flavors, and I'm glad. We have a hot beverage bag for the coffee, a chocolate protein drink powder, our flameless ration heater, or FRH, a sleeve to put the flameless ration heater and the main in while it's heating up, and it also has some nutrition information here. And like I always say, as I'm trying things, I will put the calories for that item up on the screen, and then at the end I'll have a total when I do my final summary and everything. MREs are intentionally calorie rich because they're for troops in high, calorie burning situations. And as emergency food, you want it to be pretty calorie dense. But anyway, we also have this bread mini loaf sliced whole wheat. All right. And that's everything in the bag. Now, typically speaking, and I'm going to start opening up this FRH and getting it going. If you've never used one before, you put a little bit of water in up to the line. They say to put the main in first. I have found that if I put the water in first and let the reaction start going, I tend to get better results. But that being said, I'm going to get this started. Now, as MREs go, I think the rule of thumb for the military is there will always be at about 4 or more vegetarian MREs in the menus. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know how long it's been that way, but I believe that is kind of the rule of thumb, at least 4. This is one of those vegetarian menus. Last menu with the cheese pizza was also one of the vegetarian menus. So it is starting to warm up. To get that reaction going, sometimes you got to kind of hold it horizontally, let the water get into that FRH. Normally I do a little bit more of that before I put the main in, but I'm getting all over top of myself. I'm so hungry I want to get into these snacks. But it's taking its sweet time to heat up today. Usually these FRHs, when they're fresh, work pretty good. It's starting to heat up. You can kind of see it's building up pressure in the bag. And I will say, the way these things work, as best I understand it, is there is a magnesium, iron, and salt compound in those little FRH packets, which is this white thing in the back. And once you add water to it, it basically oxidizes super fast. So it's kind of like a really fast rusting that causes the exothermic reaction that heats everything up. And as I always say, it off-puts hydrogen, so you don't want to use these things right next to an open flame. I'm gonna add a little bit more water. I don't think I put enough in there. But you don't want to use them right by an open flame because it's hydrogen. But also, you don't want to use a whole bunch of them in an enclosed space. I know they don't use these in submarines or anything either because it's hydrogen and it produces a good bit of it. So now just me by myself in here, in this, in my house, I'm not going to be hurting anything. This is a well ventilated part of the house. It's not going to hurt me to have a little bit of hydrogen, but you don't want to use it right by a fire or have a whole bunch of people. In fact, I think there's some instructions about how many people can be in an area with one of these, but I'm not going to get into all that. This thing is starting to heat up. So but as it heats up, it boils that water and just basically kind of steams your packet. And I should have gotten this ready. I tell y'all, I know y'all know if you've watched any of my videos before, but I am a mess. And that's just the way it's going to be. So I've had people tell me, why don't you boil some water and put them in boiling water? And I'm just stubborn, I guess. And I know they meant well, but I try to use the things in the bag as they come, basically, because I figured if you're ever eating these in an emergency situation, you may or may not be able to boil water, or you may or may not want to. You might be tired and wore out and need some food, kind of like I am right now. But anyway, sometimes they do come with matches, so it's not unreasonable to boil, you know, some water. But I'm gonna go ahead and try the peanut butter for y'all. So I got my little MRE spoon, and let's see here. Now, many of these components I have had before. If you've watched my videos, you know that, but I always try to try all the food items in the bag. Peanut butter. I like MRE peanut butter because it's not as sweet as a lot of commercial peanut butter. So here is our bread. We're gonna try this next. And when it says sliced, we've got two little slices, like a little sandwich bun, like the two ends of a loaf of bread. So I'm gonna try a little piece now, and I'll probably be eating a lot of the rest with the peanut butter and jelly in a minute. Obviously, it's MRE bread. It's meant to have a long shelf life and not take up a lot of room. So it's denser than like if you went and grabbed a loaf of bread at the store. But it tastes a lot like a whole wheat bread, just kind of like if you smushed a piece of whole wheat bread or ate an end piece, kind of tastes like that. Got that whole wheat bread aftertaste, a little bit sweeter than like standard bread, I think. But anyway, let's try the jelly. I already tried the peanut butter, Ed. I'm sorry, my hands are shaking. I am so hungry. I starved myself all day. I know y'all can tell this boy's starving, right? But I starved myself so that I give these things the best chance possible when I'm trying them, because I figured if I'm ever eating them for what I buy them for, which is emergency food, I'll be hungry. And so I try to taste them with that in mind. Tastes like a grape jelly. I mean, just a normal run-of-the-mill Smuckers or something grape jelly. Good stuff. Tastes great. Now let's try some of these smoked almonds. Smoked almonds. I'll put them in my hand here. They're just pretty good sized almonds. I try to get my face out of the way so it'll focus on what I'm showing y'all, but pretty good sized almond. Good flavor. It's smoked almonds barbecue flavor. You can taste the smoke, you can taste the barbecue flavor, and much like a barbecue sunflower seed or barbecue peanuts that you buy at the store kind of thing, but almonds and smoked. So very good description. That's what they taste like. And now we're gonna try the mango peach applesauce. Mango peach applesauce. So I haven't had this flavor of applesauce before. They like to mix it up with their applesauce flavors in these things. All right, I taste the mango, I taste the peach, and it is an applesauce. It's a little bit sweeter than I typically like applesauces, but it's not bad if you like it. I mean, you can taste all the different flavors of fruit, so that's nice. Mixes it up a little bit. Very, very tropically, you know, but you get all the flavors I said. You get the mango, the peach, and the apples. You know, you don't taste the apples as much. You taste more of the mango and peach, but it's good. And I'm glad they give you different flavors since they like to put applesauce in a lot of these bags. It's nice to have different flavors of applesauce. So let's see. I think we get into the drinks now. So we got Bill's Brew Coffee from the William James Coffee Company. Now, if you've never seen one of my videos before, I do drink my coffee black, so I am going to mix it that way. If y'all want to know what creamer or sugar, like non-dairy creamer or sugar tastes like, you're gonna have to try it for yourself. You can probably go get a free packet at your local gas station or something, or go pick some up pretty cheaply at a grocery store. So. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had somebody outside doing some stuff for me, and they called right in the middle of my filming. So anyway, I didn't realize they were that close to done. But that being said, so we're about to try the coffee. I was stirring it up. And yes, I don't know how far I got on this, but I like room temperature coffee and I like it black. So I'll actually take coffee and set it out. I'll pour it out the pot when my wife makes coffee in the mornings, and I'll let it sit there and get room temp before I chug it. So here we go. As freeze-dried coffees go, I like Bill's Brew. I wish I had put a little bit less water when I mixed it because it'd be a little bit stronger, but it's pretty good stuff. And the last thing we have to try is the chocolate protein drink powder. So now typically, if you were in the field, you would put your water up the line, shake, mix, stir, all that stuff so that you would be able to drink it in the field without needing a container. However, so y'all can see it, I brought this little shaker cup, so I'll shake it up and drink it that way. I have used these bags before when I wasn't filming myself, and it worked pretty good. Just got to make sure you shake them and mix them real well, and that the Ziploc at the top is zipped up real tight when you go to shake them. Anyway, so here we go. I shouldn't have done that because I'm not a drink mixer, and that could have gone horribly wrong. So I'm actually very happy that I caught that. How we doing? Yeah, it looks mixed pretty well. So here we go. Trying the chocolate protein drink powder. That's good stuff, y'all. As chocolate protein powder drinks go, that's one of the better ones. It's not the best I've ever had, but it is definitely far from the worst. So I enjoy that. It fills you up a little bit because it's got a thickness to it because all the powder. A very rich chocolate taste, nice and sweet. I love it. I love it. I'm always happy when I open up one of these MREs and see that that's in there. Time lapse. All right, let's get this main out. So, hopefully, this is good. I think I already mentioned this, but since I got interrupted at that one point, okay, yeah, we heated up good this time. Better than warm. I wouldn't say piping hot, but definitely better than warm. Heading toward hot. So, yeah, but this is one of the vegetarian rations. So, I am not a vegetarian, but you know, food's food. And I get these things for emergency rations for myself and others. So, and one of the reasons I wanted to try all of these, I'm making a mess, but one of the reasons I wanted to try all of these so I'd know which rations to give to other folks, you know? So if I have any friends that are vegetarian in any emergency, you know, hurricane situation, zombie apocalypse, whatever, and the zombies probably wouldn't like it, but maybe somebody, maybe I'll be able to barter with a vegetarian. If I don't like it. If I like it, I'll eat it. But anyway, all right, that's not too much of a mess, but let's see. It is elbow macaroni in tomato sauce, and guess what? It looks like elbow macaroni in tomato sauce. See if that'll focus if I get my face out of the way. So you see that? There looks like there's some herbs in there. So there's some large chunks of tomato and then the macaroni. So anyway, without any further ado, okay, it kind of goes through like movements. You get like the tomato and stuff. There's some kind of strange flavors in there too, but then you start getting the herbs and things, and it kind of covers up the weird tastes in the middle. Very tomatoey, a little bit less salty than I was expecting. In fact, I may add some of the salt to it here in a second, but and it's not my favorite one. I'll just go ahead and tell you all that right now. Some of their other tomato sauces I have liked better. Let me get that one more bite before I put this hot stuff in it. Very, very tomato forward and very sweet tomato forward compared to some of their more peppery tomato sauces that have been in some of the other dishes. So, not my favorite. Not my favorite. So this might be one I barter with, but I got this crushed red pepper. So we're gonna add all of that. I'm just gonna add it all. I'm a spice junkie. I love spices. My name's Ed. I have a problem. I like to torture myself with hot things. But I'm also gonna add this salt. And I'm not gonna put all of it in there because I don't want to oversalt it, but I'm gonna mix all that up and give it another try. So now all the red peppers are in there, about half the salt packet. That's better. If you like spice, do that. And I'm actually gonna add the rest of that salt because it's still not too salty. But it helped. It helped it to me, to my taste. It needed the salt, and then the spices helping cover up some of those flavors I didn't care for so much. And it's odd because you get like all the tomato and everything. I know I already kind of said this, but then you get the herbs. But there's this spot in the middle where the two just aren't meshing that well to my palate. So putting the spice in there kind of just covers up some of the other stuff, and then the salt helps cut back on that sweetness of the tomatoey of it. But anyway, I'm gonna finish eating this, time lapse one more time, and then we'll do a summary of everything at the end, total calories, and if there's any other bonus content, it'll be there. So give me a second, y'all. All right, so the main was not my favorite. Now, I will say, adding the spice, adding the salt definitely helped. I will also say it is not my least favorite. I like that way more than the last one. Like the first vegetarian one, the cheese pizza I had, this was better than that. It wasn't my favorite, but I enjoyed it a lot more than that pizza. I will say that. Everything else was good. I'm not the biggest applesauce fan, but it kind of grew on me. The mango peach flavors and everything were nice, and if I just thought of it as the dessert instead of like one of the others, just another snack, it was good. It was good. And if you like applesauce, it was great. And it's not as sweet as some of the applesauces. Chocolate protein powder, always a win. I love that one. And then I made myself some peanut butter jelly sandwiches with the bread and the peanut butter and the jelly. great. Smoked almonds, also great. So everything in this bag, and the coffee, everything in this bag, except for the main, was a home run. And the main was in the middle of the pack. It was not a home run, but it was also not down there with that pizza or the chicken chunks or something, you know. So it was square in the middle of the pack, you know. But that being said, like, subscribe, leave some comments down in the comments section, ring the bell. If you have anything to add, please leave me a comment. I try to read them all and respond to them as fast as I can. And I appreciate all of you watching. Some of y'all have left comments that have taught me things, given me good tips for the FRHs and all kinds of things, and for how to mix and match some of this stuff. So thank all of you. Please continue to engage with me. I am really enjoying that aspect of this whole YouTube thing, getting to pick y'all's brains and learn from y'all. So thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. All right. Story time. I have had this knife for 20 years. It was the first handmade knife I ever purchased. I was at a local, or a local kind of like Pioneer Days kind of thing, if you know anything. You know, they'd had the little town set up, and there was a local blacksmith there who forged his own knives. This was the least expensive one he sold, and I was broke at the time. And it still was probably the most expensive knife I'd ever bought to that point. It was like $45, and I didn't know how to properly maintain a knife, so y'all can probably tell. It's got some rusting on it and stuff, and I need to clean it up. But I have had this thing for 20 plus years, and it's one of the knives that started me on my journey of being a knife collector and you know, learning about different steels and how people make things and stuff. So just a antler bone, you know, antler handle, very simple, you know, straight skinny blade. But yeah, I've had this for at least 20 years. I was in my mid to young teens when I bought this knife, and it came with a little leather sheath I'm wearing right now that I've still got. And I wish I had taken better care of it over the years, but I'll get it cleaned up and stuff. I pulled it out and I saw that rust on it, and I'm ashamed of myself. But yeah, so there's that. Other stuff coming up in the channel. That was the end of A case. We are halfway through. We're halfway through, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me on this journey, and looking forward to the next half. I've got some other things coming up too. I'm expecting some stuff in the mail from Brad's Journey. If you're watching, thank you. I'm still waiting for that package to get here, but hopefully it'll be here soon. Or maybe, I don't think this is going up today, so it may be here by the time you're seeing this, and I'll email you when I get it, so you'll know. Feel like Rexy? I think he was either first or second run from them, but yeah. If you're not subscribed and you stuck around this long, you should be subscribed. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Later. Ooh.